Hi everybody, Stephan here, and thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to do an in-between in one of the shots for the animated show called Dust. And a lot of people think that in-betweens are very easy to do and very quickly, but I want to show you how much work actually goes into doing in-betweens and the thought process of actually drawing the in-betweens. To get the animation smooth for the final picture before it goes into cleanup. So let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start animating on this shot. It's background 5, shot BA. That's just the naming convention that we have. And I can quickly show you the boards that I'm working off. Now over here we have, this is what we call the structure boards. And basically, it's not really storyboards in the conventional sense. It's more of a way to figure out the layout of each shot. So, so that we know what backgrounds we need to do, what layers need to be done, and what animation needs to be done. So we've blocked it out in terms of scene and cuts. So that's just our way of numbering the scenes. Now what we're going to do here today is shot 5 BA. So I'm kind of combining these two together because I know where the cut is going to be. So let's go over and let me show you the short animatic that I put together of these boards, just to give you the idea of what the story is about. Okay, so I've taken out the temporary music track that we have on the animatic, and that's just to avoid copyright claims from YouTube. So it's not going to be as entertaining as it will be in the end, but you can get a general idea of what this short introduction of the animation is going to be. So we're going to animate this short little piece and take it from there and develop the story further and further as we go along.
Yo, fool, it's time to pay up or you pay the funeral director. Look here, you see the grills? I need to see the bills. Right now, fool.
You know what we had to go through to get this?
Yo, dog, you preach the truth, man. It was trouble. And if you don't show me some paper, you're gonna be rubble.
Now, boys, don't tell me you're stupid enough to do this in broad daylight.
You know the drill. Hands up, drop the bag. Come on, I want to get home before kickoff.
Oh, man, it's the Popo.
You still root for the Chiefs? The Raiders are gonna crush them, rookie.
I'm a Jets fan myself.
Man, if the ball ain't round, you won't see me on the playground.
Very clever. What's your name, my hip-hop friend?
Me? I'm GJ, fool.
What kind of name is DJ?
G, as in genuflection.
As in, I have to be gangsta.
How about you, Holmes?
Hey! Stay with them.
That's dust.
Yeah, 'cause that's what you'll eat when dust hits the street. Give me some, bro.
Dispatch 1043, suspect on foot.
All I'm eating is a freaking hot dog. Hey, stop!
Alright, so I've already animated the key drawings and the breakdown drawings, which you'll see in the red and the yellow tick marks at the bottom of the timeline. So this is the shot that we want to start in-betweening.
Yo, fool, it's time to pay up or you pay the funeral director. Look here, you see the grills? I need to see the bills right now, fool.
Now this shot is 224 frames at 24 frames a second, so you can see that it's quite a lot of real estate that we need to cover in terms of in-betweening. And what I usually like to do is start breaking it down, going from that huge gap to going to 8s and then 4s and then eventually down to 2s where we want to be. So our in-between that we're going to do is on frame 47, which puts the gap on 8. Now I've got the onion skin open there, and usually I don't use the onion skin when doing in-betweens, except when the lines are very, very close together. And if it's so close together, I might as well just leave the line blank. And I like to start with a focal point, something like the eyebrows. So here I'm just flipping through my drawings and making sure that I'm hitting that eyebrow right in the middle, slightly favoring the breakdown drawing before, because it's closer to that drawing than the one that follows. And I'm always thinking about arcs, so that line that I'm making there, that's just the arcs that I'm planning, and yeah, just drawing it in. Now usually I shade the eyebrows just because it's a focal point, and it's nice to have focal points like those when doing in-betweens, because then when you scrub through or when you flip your drawings, you can very easily see where you're going with the drawing. So I'm constantly flipping, and as I usually say, I work in Krita or Krita. I find it a very robust animation software for drawing 2D animation, and I've set the hotkeys on my keyboard A and D to flip from the previous keyframe to the next keyframe, and I'm slowly just building it up. Now with the in-betweens, you'll see that there's a slight difference in my approach to drawing. I'm not using any construction lines, and that's because I'm actually looking at the line movement. That's why it's so very important to animate form and shape in your key drawings and your breakdown drawings. As long as you need form and shape and that volume, you know it's a breakdown drawing or a key drawing. Don't follow lines when you're drawing key drawings or breakdown drawings. Then you will start losing form. The moment you can start looking at a line, then you know you're doing an in-between. So if you look at the timeline, you can see all those yellow tick marks. Those are all breakdown drawings. And those breakdown drawings are put there for a reason, because they require a definition of shape and form. I'm not chasing lines there. I'm chasing the volume of the head and the volume of the character. But now that we're doing an in-between, I'm actually literally chasing the lines of the character. So I'm making sure that the lines start moving. I'm not too worried about form anymore, because it's already established. If I just follow that line, I know I'm going to be safe. If the volume changes between breakdowns and key drawings, In the in between, you know that the breakdown or in between, the breakdown or key drawing was not was not sufficient enough. There, you might need an additional breakdown drawing to define further shape to the character. And that's something, especially if you're working in a team, when you're a lead animator on a character, you need to be able to define that shape of the character well enough for an in-betweener to come in and just chase lines. Because that's all the in-betweener needs to do, really, is to chase the lines instead of chasing the form. Now, that's not to say that the in-betweener can ignore shape and form. You always have to think about how things fold and how things curve around a three-dimensional object. But it's the definition of that form needs to be established by the lead animator, the animator that's actually animating the shot, and not to leave that over to an in-betweener to do. If you're working in a team like that and you're expecting that of an in-betweener, then it's bound to fail. Now here I'm turning on the onion skin just to make sure that that I'm still following, that the lines are still between the two drawings. And very often, especially when a character is talking, the jaw might go outside of the lines, so it's not a perfect in between, because the jaw opens and closes, and so there might be changes. That's not a perfect in between. But that's something that you pay attention to, and if you're experienced in doing in-betweens, you already know that. And for his jewelry and all these accessories, I'm just drawing like a thick, solid line. In cleanup, those lines will be outlined and given a nice shape for coloring. Now these characters are designed. I could have actually designed them more simply, to get less line mileage, because I realized that these characters, they do have quite a bit of line mileage, and that's to say the amount of lines required to define the character. But they look good, and it's a lot of work, but it's satisfying to see these characters come to life. And also with stuff like clothes and especially this this beanie that he has on his head, all of the follow through and overlap animation already needs to be established in the key drawings and the breakdown drawings, because when you're doing in-betweens, you don't want to suffer with trying to define those as well. You just want to chase the line. You don't want to chase the overlap. So there you can see, as I flip, it's literally just the in-between of those two. And here I'm using the onion skin with that line defining the jaw. And I'm realizing that I need to favor the previous drawing. And I favored it too much. And there I've got it just right. Just right. So sometimes you'll use the onion skin just to see where you were and where you're going, and you just have to flip through the frames to make sure that that it feels right. That's why I'm flipping back and forth. And if you train your eye, in flipping through the frames, you'll find that it's really easy to see where something's going, where something's been, and where something's going. Here with the arm, I'm favoring the previous frame, so the red line, instead of yeah. Oh, I wanted to favor it, and I decided, well, no, I'm gonna do a perfect in between there. So I'm seeing that it didn't work out quite as well, so I ended up favoring the previous frame instead. So now it has a bit of slow in, slow out. Because even if you're doing in betweens, you still need to think about all the fundamentals of animation, because you need to give effect to them. They're already established in the key drawings and the breakdown drawings, but you do need to give effect to all of the principles when you're doing in betweens. So even though it's a nice in between, I'm favoring the red line rather than favoring the purple line. That is to say, favoring the previous frame over the next frame. That would give us a nice slow in, slow out, or cushioning. In 2D animation, we rather refer to cushioning than slow in and slow out. Slow in and slow out I think, is more a term used in 3D animation. I was always taught that you cushion the frame. Here I'm just demonstrating that I'm using a thick line for the jewelry, and in cleanup we'll outline that thick line just to have two neatly drawn lines. Because in cleanup we don't want rasterized drawings, we want vector drawings, so we can scale it up to any size we want. And just looking through and watching the animation and seeing that it works. And there we go, we've got a finished in between.
Yo, fool, it's time to pay up or you pay the funeral director. Look here, you see the grills? I need to see the bills right now, fool.
Alright, so we've animated one single in between in this shot, and as you can see, there are many more drawings to do before this shot is finished and ready for cleanup and coloring. But I wanted to put out this short little video for you, just to show you that we're still working hard on Dust. And please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with everybody so that we can build a community around Dust and see where this story takes us. So until next time, thank you very much for tuning in. Bye-bye.